Hello everybody, my name is Pixie People. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. And today we're going to start a new what if called What If Deku Was Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. I got this idea from a commenter on my All For One what if. Of What If Deku had All For One. And yeah. Quick mention, I am 4 subscribers away from 100 subscribers, so please subscribe if you haven't yet. Also like and hit the post notification bells to remind yourself that you're even subscribed to a channel like this. Anyways, let's get into the what if. So we start a story as Deku is walking around as a kid, trying to go get a candy bar from the store. But a guy just randomly shows up trying to rob the kid. But Deku then looks at the guy, and then the guy starts trembling and then falls over, unconscious. Then Deku keeps walking. Then we see Deku get the candy bar and then walk home to an orphanage, because Deku is an orphan in this timeline. Deku then goes into the orphanage and tries to use his candy bar. But a little of bullies that try to bully Deku pull up. So they try to bully Deku, but Deku just makes them go unconscious with his stare again, just like it did to the mugger. And so they all go unconscious, and then the nun that works at the orphanage tells Deku to knock it off. And Deku, already knowing the drill that this nun does not like people fighting, even though they instigated the conflict. So Deku just lets them go, and they wake back up. All of them. All 3 of them. Yeah, they really don't like Deku, but every single time they try to like hurt or even antagonize Deku, he just knocks them out every single time. Yeah. We then see Deku eat his candy bar and walk away. Then we see him lay down and sleep. Him dreaming of having a family, and then he wakes up in the middle of the night to hear a sound. He looks over with his eyes slightly glowing, them like having like a neon green to them. So he looks over to see a cursed spirit walk over to the bullies. Deku gets up, walks behind the cursed spirit, grabbing it by its back. It turns around, and Deku uses its pressure to crush its head. Then it explodes into cursed energy, and Deku just goes back to sleep. Next day, Deku gets up from his bed and goes to his classes that the nun teaches. So we see him, learn, and then he sees another cursed spirit on the nun's neck. So he sends out pressure again, which makes the nun's shoulder kind of hurt. But then the cursed spirit gets crushed into a flat paste, and then explode into cursed energy. And then the nun's shoulder feels better, and then she continues to teach. And yeah. Then we see Deku walk out of the classroom to see a whole lot of cursed spirits. There's cursed spirits all over the place in this orphanage, and Deku has just started seeing them, so he's been trying to clean them out the whole time. So we just see him send out more pressure, which actually crushes all of them together and makes them explode all into a vast explosion of cursed energy, making all the posters and flyers just fly off the things because of how strong those curse were. Then Deku closes his hand after reaching out and then walks away. Then we just see a montage of Deku cleaning up the orphanage of cursed spirits. We see some really ugly looking motherfuckers get just absolutely crushed and decimated. Until one cursed spirit has black drapes over it and has very scrangly and long hair look over to Deku, and it reveals it has one eye and a gigantic mouth. That's very slobbery. So Deku tries to do the same thing, but the cursed spirit just slips out of the pressure by becoming like a spirit, like a ghostly apparition that spins around like a cloth. Then Deku gets concerned because that always works. So the cursed spirit goes to attack Deku, but he can't. So then Deku tries to do his pressure again, but it just keeps not working because the cursed spirit keeps going away. So Deku tries to make his pressure into something else. So he compresses his energy into something that will like absorb the cloth, not crush it. So Deku sends out a blue, just randomly. He calls it blue because it looks blue. Then the cloth tries to dodge it, but it sucks him in, spinning him. And then Deku pressurizes the blue, which crushes the blue into like a square. Then Deku punches it, making it explode into cursed energy, which then makes the entire orphanage just burst with cursed energy, just making some windows open up and send out screeches and roars. Then we see souls of people that the cursed spirit has eaten, and most of them are children and a single nun, which is revealed to be the nun's mom. Then she bows to Deku, and Deku bows back, and then she leaves. Then we see Deku walk around, and we see him age as he walks, like a transition. So Deku becomes a teenager in his 14s, and go to middle school, where he meets Bakugo Katsuki, who is already a giant egotist because of how popular and how no one was knowing to him. But Deku doesn't care about him. He's out of his way, so he doesn't care. Which, yes, Bakugo does stay out of Deku's way, because he doesn't know him. He just transferred here. Why would he care? Deku walks past Bakugo at one point, hitting him. Then he looks behind him in a shock to see a cursed spirit wrap around Bakugo. It's like a tentacled creature, and so Deku pulls out a hand, touching Bakugo on the shoulder, with Bakugo flicking it off, telling him what his problem is. But Deku says, sorry, he thought he saw something on his shoulder. And Bakugo, being the annoying guy he is, tells him to never touch him, no matter what's on his shoulder. So then Deku, being a little mischievous, decides he'll just leave the cursed spirit there, see what'll happen, because he's never seen it before. This guy doesn't seem too chill. Remember, Deku's an orphan, so he doesn't know Bakugo at all. So then we see Bakugo slowly look sicker and sicker through the days. Then Deku destroys the cursed spirit, making Bakugo then cough and then start to look healthier as he coughs, with everyone being a bit weirded out by Bakugo sudden aggressive coughing and his sudden aggressive healing. So yeah, and then just moves on from it, with Deku um, knowing what cursed spirits can do, decides that he'll destroy every single one of them, no matter the cost. Then we just see Deku go through middle school with no incident. He just destroys every cursed spirit that tries to show up on the school. And we see him invent red, destroying like a cursed spirit that's able to tank his blue. So he just shoots a red out, which just obliterates its guard. And then Deku punches it in the gut, destroying it with a single punch, making it explode into cursed energy. Deku decides he's going to go to UA because everyone's talked about how it's the best place to become a pro hero. So he then gets the whole page of the poll, I want to go to UA, and then he writes in he wants to go to UA. Then he turns it in, and when Deku wants to go to UA, with the teacher saying that his quirk seems pretty promising, saying his quirk is pretty strong to the point where he can't get hit, he can make people go unconscious with nothing but his fate, with nothing but his aura. With Bakugo being next, and him also explaining Bakugo's quirk, saying it's pretty strong, and flashy, so it'd be pretty useful. And then everyone agrees that both Deku and Bakugo's quirks are pretty strong. Considering Bakugo has no beef with Deku, he doesn't care that Deku is going to UA. He's just gonna outshine him, no matter what. Then we see Deku leave school and go the same walkway as he did in the original timeline. By the way, he still lives at the orphanage because he's not an adult yet. Teenagers can live in orphanages. Deku walking down the street sees the slime villain burst out of the thing, going to get Deku. But Deku, thinking this is a cursed spirit, immediately pressurizes it, squishing it into a square. Then he purples it, and then he blues it, crushing it into an orb. Then Deku just crushes it into a marble, and then he keeps the marble. And then Deku just keeps walking with All Might bursting out of the sewer pipe, but Deku isn't there anymore, and neither is the slime villain, so All Might keeps searching for the slime villain. But later he gives up because he's nowhere to be found. So we just see Deku get back to the orphanage, pulling out the marble, looking at it more closely, realizing this is a guy with a quirk. But Deku decides that trying to kill a kid is kinda evil enough, so he's just gonna stay in there, with us hearing a light yell and scream of pain, with that being the slime villain stuck in the marble. So Deku puts the marble back in his pocket, going to sleep. Then we see Deku just exercise more cursed spirits over the 10 months. Considering he's strong enough, he doesn't need to train that much. And we see Deku walk to the UA, entering the thing. By the way, Deku has a buttload of jobs, so this is how he's able to afford UA. At all. He gets in there and aces the written exam because Deku is still pretty intelligent. And yeah. Then Deku goes over to the battle area, just standing there. He's just wearing jeans and a white tee and sunglasses. Then Deku sees President Mike, says that, "What are you guys doing?" Gets to stepping. So Deku walks up to the gate, which is just about open, and Deku just punches it down, with everyone around him being shocked he just did that. He was walking to the ground and then punched it. Then Deku keeps walking while everyone runs past him. Then Deku walks over to a building, opening the door, going through the door, smashing it open. Then Deku sees a horde of robots, saying, "Knew it." Then Deku uses his, curse pressure to crush them all into a cube, and then Deku then grabs the cube and then imbues it with cursed energy, throwing it into more. That was a group of 5. Doesn't matter how many points. Then he threw that cursed thing at 3, which blew itself up, destroying all 3 of them. Then Deku just runs around. Well, actually just walks around, really. Shooting, curse pressuring everything. And when he needs to, he blues, compressing all of them, all the robots in that area into a ball. Then he shoots a red at it to blow it up. Which does not make it purple, because Deku hasn't learned that yet. Yeah, we just see Deku walk around. Eventually, the 0 pointer shows up, and Deku, seeing a girl under some rubble, jogs over and just uses his curse pressure to crush the 0 pointer, his leg, into just a tin can. Then Deku does it to the other one. Then he makes the 0 pointer float with him standing under it and using a bubble of his, shield stuff. Then he flies up, pushing the 0 pointer to slide onto its stomach, onto the ball. Then Deku turns... Yeah, Deku's learned to fly. Then Deku shoots a blue into its chest, contorting it into a ball. Then the ball lands in Deku's hand, then the blue energy smoking off it, revealing the paint job of the 0 pointing at Deku's face. Then Deku drops it, flying to the ground. Then Deku takes off the rubble, taking Ochako out, with Ochako being astonished at Deku's strength. With Deku not wanting to dilly-dally, he just puts her next to a recovery girl and leaves. Then he gets a letter in by the orphanage. He opens the letter to reveal he got into UA. Then Deku smiles and sheds a single tear. Then the next day, he goes to UA. Him wearing his outfit, excited for his first day. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I think this video is long enough. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe, hit the post notification bells. Hope you liked the video.